me quickly share this and then I start with a stream. Okay, so good to go. Let me start with a stand-up again. So if you're new here, a stand-up is a small meeting that usually, like most teams, have once a day. And there, every person in the team, especially the developers, they go through the things that they did the day before and the things that they're planning to do this day. And they also talk about impediments, like problems that they ran into and where they need help. Yeah, so first thing, I started creating a batch component for the UI kit last week. One second. Yeah, so this went pretty well. Let me show you quickly in the Storybook. So here you can see this is the batch component, and our UI kit has different okay, has different states for this. So here you have different sizes, different colors, and this icon, I left this icon state away because we don't have that in the designs yet, so only these. And as you also were able to see, this took already surprisingly long, so took at least an hour or so. Here you can see the batch state in the Storybook. So here we have different sizes and then also different colors. Yeah, so this was one part. And then like off screen, I also started working on another small task. Quickly check, where is it now? So the page container, just basically this wrapper around the page content. I didn't use Storybook to implement this, but did this directly here. I also ran into a few problems here with the mobile state of the navigation bar, but now everything is fixed. So yeah, the thing that I want to do today is I didn't create a pull request for both of these tickets yet. So I have two different branches. first I created a branch for this of the main branch. And then because I had some changes, like changes to the theme, that I also need in the page container, I had to create a branch of this branch here for the page container. So I have two different branches now, and they depend on each other. And you will see that, yeah, I have to clean up some stuff before merging that. Yeah, so let's start by creating a branch. Let's see, I can just close this one. So checkout, and this was the batch component, I guess. So batch component, this is the first branch that I was working on. Let's push this. Everything's up to date, okay. So then let's quickly open a pull request. We can, let me check, here's the branches. So we can create a new pull request from this branch, and then add batch component to UI kit. Let's do it quickly like this. So we now have the pull request, and now the CI will start running. So this will take a moment. I will go back and check out the other branch. So let's quickly have a look at the commit history here. You can see that, let me check. Let me expand that a bit. So this is the commit history of the batch component branch. So the latest one, here we have these commits, and this is the latest one, show docs tab and story by default. And now let's git checkout. This was page container, I guess. And now git log. I used the one line because this is a bit more concise than if you just do git log. So here you can see this branch also depends on the batch component. So these commits from the batch component branch are included here. Let's also push this and open a PR. So this was the wrong. It grabs the page content. So usually you might want to think a bit more about the description and include a bit more detail, but I'm working on my own here, so nobody will check that anyways. So now we have two PRs, and here in the first one you can already see that something happened. So the CI failed. Let's quickly check what's going on here. So the build is problematic. Yeah, I guess I fixed that actually in the other branch. So let me check out batch component. So this is a pretty typical thing when you work on new features for a branch, like completely for an application. So something completely new and not small changes in the existing code. Then you often have branches that depend on each other. Because like let's say we created this this pull request here, and we need to wait for a review. So the reviewer won't do this immediately, like they won't just drop their work and start reviewing this right away. but usually this will take some time, and while we wait, we want to work on another feature on another branch. So if this new thing that we want to work on depends on changes that we have in this branch, we will create a new branch from, let's say, batch component. And this is basically what I did here. So now, let's see, we had a problem in the sidebar navigation, I guess. Yeah, so here's the TypeScript problem. And I guess the thing was, I wasn't sure about these here, but actually this CSS doesn't do a lot. And now it works. Let's quickly run the linter. So here we don't have problems. I don't have a separate command for checking the types yet. I should probably add that, but the build command does that for me. So I will just run this quickly and check if the types are okay. So it seems like everything is fine. So let's fix this. Fix this theme. TS error. Okay, so now I'm pushing the changes again. And here you should see the next commit exactly. And now when we refresh, yeah, so the CI is running again. And yeah, we have to wait for this. Here you can already see that the CI passed. And now, let's see. So this is the last, this was the last commit here. And this is also the last commit that is included here, I guess. Yeah, here it is. And now, interestingly, this fixes TS error in theme is not included here. So we might run into some merge conflicts when we rebase the branches on top of each other. So this might be a bit more interesting to you in a bit. So let's hope that this goes fast here. We can also watch the CI. So this is already running the build command. And then at the end, it's only Cypress that has to run. And that should be, okay, so build finished. And now Cypress runs. That may take a while because see, this is installing Cypress from scratch, as far as I know. But luckily the test shouldn't take long, since we don't have a lot yet. Okay, so now it's starting the application on localhost 3000 internally with npm start, and then it's running the tests on this localhost version. Okay, so everything went fine. Now it just says to finish up, and we can merge the branch. Let me also quickly go through the changes here. So I guess the only thing that I did off screen, not on the live stream, was adding a few colors here and also a font utility here. So yeah, I basically added all these values, which was a bit boring work, but yeah. Okay, so this should have passed now. We can squash and merge this, and then we see the Git stuff, Git magic in action. Yeah, so basically we have, as I said, we have all these commits here, and most of them we also have here. And now you can already see this has merge conflicts. What happened now is because we used the squash and merge, you might also have seen this in an earlier video, we have only a single commit here and not all the, like this list of commits. So now Git doesn't really know how to, like, we have touched the same files here and in this branch as well. So Git doesn't know how to resolve the conflicts. We can do this here in the GitHub UI, but honestly, I wouldn't recommend to do that because, yeah, you're never sure if you break something. You don't have the linter here, you don't have TypeScript, so let's not do that. So what we do usually is we open VS Code again, and now first thing we should do is check out the main branch. Oh, check out main. And now we have to pull the changes. So as you can see, there's one commit. This is one commit behind origin main, my local version. So now I will pull the changes, and now you can already see that the batch component is also here. Let's see, and this is here we have the batch component. So the next step is that we check out the other branch again. So this was page container. And now my goal is to, so as I said, the page container PR still contains, or the branch still contains the commits from the batch component branch. And this is not really good, right? Because we still see in this, in the file changes, we still see that there's the batch stories, for example. The batch, this is not something that belongs to the page container, but I want only to see like this, for example, this is a commit or a file change that really belongs to this PR. So if you would work in a team, this would be really annoying, this situation for your reviewers, because they don't have the overview what really belongs to this branch and what did they already review in a previous branch. So what I would like to do is to get rid of all these commits here, and then only keep the ones that are required for this page container. So basically, we clean up the Git history of this branch. So what we will use for this is we will use rebase, git rebase, and then -I for interactive. You will see in a bit what that means. And then we will rebase on the main branch, because the main branch now contains all the changes from the batch component pull request. So let's run this. And now this might look a bit scary, but what you basically see is a list of commits from this page container branch. And as you can see, we have the batch component commits here until here. And then we also have the page container commits, which are these. And now cleaning up is like removing the commits is actually really simple. We just delete all the lines that are that don't belong to the page container branch. So this is last, and now simply exit, and we can the rebase will run. There are other things you can do. It's like much more powerful than just removing commits, but this is enough for the moment, I guess. But here at the bottom, you can see a list of commands. So pick is by default. Then you can reword the commit message. You can edit a commit. So this will basically stop at this commit, and then you can make changes and amend them to the previous commit. You can squash commits into one. So for example, yeah, I don't know. If you have a few fixes here, you can just all squash them together or include them wherever you need. You can move commits around and stuff like this. So, but as I said, for now, like here, we just want to clean up the commit history and remove the commits that we don't want. So I will exit here, Control X, yes, modify, and then let's see. So now this is already a more complex case where we actually run into merge conflicts. If we would have been lucky, this would just go through and yeah, the rebase would have been done. But here we can see that there's a problem auto merging styles /theme ts. And the commit that we are stuck in adds additional fonts. So let's quickly check. Here in VS Code, you can see that we have like stage changes. These are unproblematic. And then merge changes, this is where we run into merge conflicts. And now we go down. And then you have two blocks. One is the green one. This is, I guess, from the main branch. I'm always like incoming change and current change. So current change, I guess, should be from the main branch. And this is from the page container branch. So for an outsider, this might be a bit hard to understand what's happening here, but let's quickly check. So this is the adds additional fonts commit, and we can actually see what's happening here in the pull request. This should be a bit easier. So it seems like we renamed a function here in theme. And then we also like changed the structure of this font here. So we nested it, and we have the text font and the display font. It's a bit, yeah, when we check the designs, this would become a bit more clear. I'm not sure if this actually is so smart to make the separation, but here the designer has text fonts, which are the small ones, and then we have display fonts. I think these are mostly for like headlines, and these are for regular text. Yeah, for now I just went with that and created basically separate objects here. So one is for text and one is for display. And this is a new change that I introduced in the page container. But the problem was that I also changed the same file, theme.ts, inside the batch component. So I removed the CSS here, and now Git doesn't know, like it cannot clearly say that we changed this into this, but we removed this part and then also changed some other things, so it's unclear for Git what happened. For me, it's now relatively easy to see because basically I just nested these, so I can say accept incoming change. And now this is actually what I want the structure to look like. Yeah, so I fixed the merge conflict here. Now we'll add this, stage the change, And now we can just see, we can git rebase and then continue. Here it already says, you can see, like, resolve all conflicts manually. So it's always good to read this description actually. Resolve all conflicts manually, mark them as resolved with git add. So that's basically what I did by pushing the plus here. Then run git rebase continue. You instead skip this commit, run git base dash skip. But we want to just add this change. So now it asks for a commit message. This still stays the same. So, and now you can see successfully rebase and updated res head page container. So the rebase was successful. Now let's quickly check how that looks like. You remember, once again, we have all these commits here, and then the actual page container started with this commit, creates page container. And now you can see we have the batch component commit here, and then it starts already with the creates page container as separate component. So basically we just removed all these commits as planned. Now the important thing is first we have to push, of course, to have the changes also on GitHub. But the problem is that we tested this branch with all these commits, and now we changed the git commit history, and this is something that you cannot undo once. So currently we cannot just undo the rebase here on my local machine. But since we pushed already everything, we have a backup basically here in the PR. So like if something went wrong, we still have the working code here, and we can check this out and restart the rebase. But once we push, we're done. Like we cannot restore this. So it's very important now to actually check that everything is working. So I have this here. This is the development server, and here we can run Storybook. So this will just be a very quick test. To see that everything is working. So Storybook seems to be fine. The batch component is here. Of course, we also have our automated tests, so we might want to rerun those as well. And now you can already see that there's a problem. Let's see, maybe we just need to restart the development server. I hope so. And let me also run npm run Cypress, I guess, just to ensure that all the tests are also still passing. If not, this is a good moment to fix everything or restore the original state of the branch. So let's see. Okay, this was luckily just a temporary problem. Okay, now let's check if Cypress tests are still passing. Okay, this seems to be fine. Great. If you're new to testing, I really can recommend to start with Cypress. Like, most tests are probably written with a React testing library, I would guess. But for beginners, it's pretty hard to get used to to React testing library from my experience, because it's like a completely new experience and you don't really know how to debug these tests. But here with Cypress, it's actually, I'm not sure why I can click on these. It's actually really easy to debug. So here we set the viewport, so you can basically see what the test is doing. It finds the text and then the button. You can see it here at the bottom. Then it clicks and then you can see the complete behavior. So this is very easy to debug for a beginner as well. And once you're used to testing this way, you can continue learning React testing library, for example. I think this is an easier transition. So, okay, I don't want this. And then finally, let's just to double check the types. Let's run the build command again and fine. Okay. So now a normal git push won't work. So failed to push some refs because updates were rejected because the tip of your current branch is behind hint. So hint, it's remount covered. Yeah, whatever. Since we changed the commit history, it cannot just integrate the new commits into this branch here. What we have to do is git push. I can also show you quickly. You can see that the commits are actually completely new commits. So for example, this one here, the last one, adjusts to mobile design and then D2EB, whatever. And here it's like a different commit ID. So these are completely new commits, and that's also why Git probably doesn't know what to do. So now we do git push origin and page container and then -f or force. So now it enforces this update. So first the UI is a bit confusing. It just adds the commits, but once we refresh, you can see it's only these commits. Okay, now like the last CI check is running here. So we have to wait again for a bit. I will close this one. And let's check the board. So this one is already done. I merged it to main. This is in review still. And now we can actually start with a project list. No, project card, sorry. This is the most urgent one. I guess this again doesn't contain a lot of information, but you can see it here. So in the user story, the card is basically this one. It's again a relatively simple UI component. Yeah, that's what we have to build now. Let's see. So basically this one here. Yeah, so I will continue doing this for a bit now. But let's wait for this PR for the CI to finish, and then we can actually start from scratch with a new branch, and we don't have to do this interactive rebase again. So let me check. I can start already here. So I will create a new file project card / project card tsx, and create a functional component. And then let's just do a div for now. So just to have a placeholder here, and then an index file, tsx. And then I would like to have a story again. So again, I'll just copy paste this. And then replace all the then I will create a new folder here, project card. So I don't need parameters, but probably some arcs. Okay, so this should be it. I also have this parameters view mode docs, so I think this is quite handy once you have like customizable props. So let's see. So when you have props that you can change, like here in the batch component, for example, it's quite handy to have these controls here, so you can actually change everything and check like quickly the different UI states. And I also want that for the project card. And let's see, I have the project card here. Okay, so here it is. This is the placeholder at the moment. So the CI passed. I will quickly squash and merge it. Okay, cool. And now I can also move this to done. Let's see, project card, I'm working on this one. Let me quickly move this here so it's easier to compare. Yeah. So let's check. These are icons. I probably will store them in the public folder again, like the other icons that I have. So we have 3 at the moment. That should be enough for us, I guess, if it's not defined anywhere else. We have the batch component here already, so that's also good. And yeah, then this is a link. So this should hopefully be straightforward to implement. Yeah, let me start by sure, let's see. Okay, I will export these. So in Figma, you have this export feature, which is really handy. And then React, SVG, see. Node. Then I use the PNG again. I want SVG. And then finally, this one here, Python SVG, okay. So I have my downloads folder here somewhere. Now let me add the icons quickly. Okay. And now let's think about the props that we have. We have the name of the project, the technology, which will also like decide what icon we render, I guess. Then we have a number of total issues. The issues seen in the last 24 hours or events. I'm not sure what this is. And then we have this kind of state of the project. I assume that we also have some project ID or something that we can use in this view issues link. But if I remember correctly, yeah, we have a separate ticket to actually connect the view issues link to the page target here. Yeah, the first thing that would be interesting now is like how these props are actually named. So because this data is coming from an API and we didn't have a look at this API yet. So let me check. I guess I added this here. Yes. So we have this endpoint here. Let's click it. This is a get endpoint, so we can just have the JSON here. Pretty print. I guess I have some extension for JSON installed in my Firefox here. Yeah, and as you can see, we don't really have this data here. So it seems that we need to talk to the backend guys again, like now pretending that we're working on a team, and ask for the data to be included here. So usually this would mean that this ticket cannot really be started, at least like the connection to the API, because the API isn't ready. But yeah, we can already start with a car ticket here. So check again. So we have ID, name, and language. Language, okay. So I assume we will use this string name, string, and language. And then let's see, we have total issues. And this is let's see if it says something here. No, it doesn't. So the it's not really clear what this is. So this number of issues, obviously, but here I suppose this is like the number of events. So you can have issues, and then each issue also has a number of events. So it makes actually a sense that this can be higher than the normal total number of issues. Let's num issues. Let's call it like this for now. And this is a number. And then we have num events 24. Almost. Let's see if these names are really good. And then we also have the current status of this. So, and let's see. So we actually have an enum language. Again, like this. And this is React. It's React. Then node, and so let's check again the API results. So language, React, Node, and Python. Okay. I defined the enums here as a string because this is the value that comes from the API. And now the enum for status, we have to make this up at the moment. So info, and we might need to adopt that later when the API is ready. And error. Oh, let's see what critical, stable, critical. Okay, so let's call it stable, critical. Okay. And language will also be language. Okay, so we have the props here already. And now let's see this name, language, issues, and then status. And now we can actually, so at the moment we have the icons named the same way the language is named. So just let's render these for now. Source, and then this is icons and language .svg, I guess should be fine for now. Okay. Now let's also use some arcs here already. So not sure what the arcs look like here. So let's do it like this, and then a nice trick here, console log. So basically this just says like console.log returns undefined, I guess, and then this makes sure that we log this one here, but also render the project card. Let's see. Doesn't really matter. for us at the moment. And let's see here. So this is empty. Actually, this might be empty. So let's define these. And this. So let's copy some stuff here. Language, React, then 420, so 121. Doesn't really matter here, but it will be easier to double check the UI later. And then status dot critical. Okay, and then let's check the log again. Okay, so the first argument are the props. And we can simply pass them on to the component. So I'm not sure why we don't see anything here. Probably something is broken. Args is not defined. Right, I forgot to remove the console log statement here. Now let's see, I hope that we will have the icons at least. Yeah, perfect. So you can see the icon here, and this also should. Yeah, cool. So this first thing works already. Now let's see, we have the name, the language. I will just render this like in a very simple way currently. I'll try to get the DOM structure right already. And then my keyboard is very slow at the moment, not sure why. Okay, div, and then div name and language. So let's see what happens now. Okay, so we have this. Actually, the language here, it's not exactly what we get from the API, because we get Node and not Node.js, so we will have to probably have a map somewhere. I will create this here for now. Language names. So this is now React language that no, this is Node.js, and then language Python. So let's see, this should be correct now. Let's also check Node.js. So yeah, seems to work fine. Here something is still complaining. Yeah, we will get rid of this lint problem in a bit, but for now, let's ignore this. quick fix. Exactly. So inside JSX, we always need to do it like this. And then we have total issues. Last 24 hours, okay. Total issues. And no issues. And then same again. This last 24 hours. And then we have the status. Let's see. Does this make sense? So this is, I guess we can move this up. Let's see. And then we have need to create the render the batch component. And this is so status. And then maybe we also need something to tell which status gets which color. So status dot table gets the batch color dot success. Warning and was error, so critical, and this was warning. Okay, so let's do it like this, and then see. Okay, I guess not sure if my keyboard is a bit annoying. Okay, batch is not defined. Let's see. I guess we missed to export these from the public API, batch API. So batch color. Okay, so and then it's like status color status. And let's see what size we have here. Medium. And the default is, let's quickly check. medium. Okay, so we don't need to assign that. So I'm not sure why this didn't work. Say refresh. Okay. So we actually have all the things here. The only problem here is still that we need to make the first letter uppercase. Not sure if there's a standard function for this in JavaScript. I don't think so. JS first. Stack Overflow to the rescue. Okay, we don't need. This could become a utility function, probably. Maybe we could also I suppose the utility libraries actually what's the very popular library for these kind of utility functions? I don't remember. Okay, this is one of the most standard libraries I'm thinking of. Lodash, yeah. So let's see, capitalize. Yeah, something like this might actually make sense. So we could install the complete Lodash package, or we just use the necessary parts. So hello again. Patel. Lodash.capitalize. Okay. Let's see, maybe this is enough. I did this one. Okay, let's quickly see. Let's see if this is enough. Obviously, we wouldn't need to install Lodash here, but I think it makes sense. I suppose we can also install the complete Lodash package, Lodash and next tree shaking. I think this should be fine actually. So let's remove this one. And then so now we should be fine. And then we can remove this. It's yeah, the advantage of using such a standard package as Lodash for things like this is that we don't need to maintain this. We don't have to write unit tests, and yeah, it doesn't break. And still it should work. Okay, so let me create first commit. Oh, I'm still on the page container branch, so let me just quickly stash all the changes. Then check out main. Pull the changes from the GitHub repository, and now git checkout -b. And what are we developing here? Project card. Git stash pop. And adds unstyled project card. Okay, I will continue in a bit, but let me quickly take a break, a few minutes, and I'll be back in a bit. Hi, so I'm back. The last thing that I want to do is actually style the component. Yeah, so we have the structure now, as you can see here, all the data is there. Now it's styling time. Yeah, we can maybe start with with this outer component. Let's see. I think this should have a border somewhere. So shadow SM. So obviously our design also has some standard shadows. So let's see what we need from this one here. We'll just copy paste this for now, and then we have the container here. I will add this here. Comes container style, so you start components again. Now let's add those here. I'm not sure what I did. I had okay, so I just used white here. Didn't use it included in the theme. Should be fine for now at least. Night items, heading 0. I guess we don't need all of this stuff. And now let's see. This is the outer container. Let me also add a wrapper to the story so it's a bit easier to see the re component. And then style. So with, I guess, the content. Okay. Then we need 2 inner boxes. Both have 24 pixel padding. I guess this as well. No, this has 16 and 24. Okay. I can rethink the names of these later. For now, this makes sense. And I can use padding. Space. And this is the custom utility function that I added. Not sure what the space is. So this turns out to be a bit annoying because I constantly have to check the theme here. So maybe there's a better way of doing this. So this is 6. 6 here is 24 pixel. And also let's check the other 16 is actually 4. So We call it bottom, and let's call it top. Dot div, and this should have padding of horizontal padding should be 24 again, and then 4, I guess. So top container, bottom container. Should be top container. So what's wrong here? Okay. I need another div around this. Oops. So now this should be fine. And bottom container. And now here we have the link href, and then this will be issues and view issues. So this is not the and anchor. Link is not imported, I guess. Okay. So this is not the final URL. We will change that in an upcoming ticket. But let's see how this looks now. So this one should be flex direction. Okay. Now let's check. So let's style this. This is the I'm not sure what to name this container. Like this is obviously always can be a bit difficult. Let's call this name container. We have a lot of containers now here. And this is display flex again. Let's see. So yeah, this should be this one here. So so the image, then this should have line items, center. Let's rename this to name an icon maybe. And then we have another container. Let's see. So this has 12 pixel. Actually, I don't need this, I guess. Let's call this language icon. Okay, and this is an image. Margin right. Space and then 3, I guess. Then we also don't need this ESLint thingy anymore. Now the name gets its own tag. And this is, let's see, designs, text medium. I have this font, text font utility function, and then this is, the size is medium, and the weight is medium. So this exists already. And then the small thing here, it's SM normal. Okay, let's see if we have that. Language. So now the problem is that we actually have a enum here, but I want to scope this anyways. Also this one here, because like status, it can be multiple status, and language might also be like English or other languages. So here we can use the component, the style component again. Const language div, and then we can reuse this. And this was SM and regular. Confined story match. So something is wrong here. No, okay, perfect. So you can see already the font sizes seem to work. And now this is gray 500 and this is gray 900. So I guess gray 900 should actually be the standard color. So we can, so all of these are, I guess, gray 900. What about these? Gray 500. Yeah, anyways. I will make gray 900 the default. So this is gray and 900, so we don't have to redefine that all the time. And then this one here gets the color gray and 500. So let's see, this should be a little bit lighter now. One thing that I realized is that like this is not really bolder than this one, so I have to check that separately, I guess. Yeah, but this looks already quite okay. Like this text, it looks a bit bolder than what I have here. Maybe actually the same. This looks a bit lighter from my perspective. Yeah, I'll have to check. So now let's do the same for this stuff here. So these are actually duplicates. This is the, let's call this info container or something. And display flex. So they should be now next to each other. Okay, perfect. Yeah. And then const issues, maybe style.diff. Issues title. Not sure, this is not really the best naming. And then we have issues number. Style.diff. And then we have this last thing, status. And this is also diff. So let's see. Numbers and batch. Okay, this has 24 spacing. Let's see, margin left, and then space. And this was 6, I guess. And then first of type be margin left 0. Let's see if that works. Should be no status. Can actually replace these already. Then we have the title. And the number. Okay, let's see. Okay, this didn't work. First of type. Okay, this was just added, I guess, by autocomplete. Then we have this space here, so the name and icon container, I guess, margin bottom. Space and 6. So that should be this one here now. Okay. So we're getting closer, as you can see. Now the next one is to style the title here. So this is text SM medium and gray 500. So we have this already, almost at least. The title, so medium. And this one is pretty large, so display MD semi-bold. Okay, I don't have this yet. Let's see. Number. So this is a display font. Display font, and then what was it? MD semi-bold. Okay. MD. Don't have that yet. And semi-bold neither. So let's quickly theme display. So we need medium and semi-bold. D, okay. And now medium, we have to define these, and this is semi-bold, something new. Never used this. So let's check the theme. Semi-bold here. So display MD. I guess the font weight here 600. Okay, and this is 2.25 rem. 2.25 rem and 275. This is 600. So let's replace that quickly. And now we also have to change the theme type because I added this MD font. And now it's this first time that we also have semi-bold. So let me add this. I can also quickly add this here actually, because it's at some point I should probably create these programmatically, because currently this is like just duplication of fonts, but I will stick with this for a while, and then once this flashes out, then yeah, we can see how to best refactor this. Otherwise, we risk to over-optimize stuff. So this looks already pretty similar to what we have here. Let's check again. So there should be some kind of margin here, 8 pixel. Let's do it here. I use margin bottom on other elements, and so it's mostly easiest to stick to one type of margin from my experience. It's just easier to expect what's happening. And then this one here, critical, I guess this is center aligned. Actually center aligned with the text here, so this is of course a bit trickier. Let's see, this is So basically this is the line height of the text. And let me check. The issue's title has SM medium. Text SM medium. So this should be the height of this one. Then we have an additional force, like padding of this space 2 margin, I mean, sorry. So let's check. This one here. Something wrong here. Okay, and then display flags and align items center. Okay, this looks pretty good. Maybe we could actually also just use the, instead of some weird stuff here, this line height here. And just issue element. And then I guess when you have flags, let's see if that works as well. Looks okay. So let me quickly show you what's going on. So margin top auto in combination with display flags just moves it to the bottom. And then the fixed height actually does the rest to center align the batch. And now I'm actually not sure. So the width of this, I don't think we should use a fixed width. I think this should be part of the next ticket where we implement this list, because the width of this items will depend on the screen size as well. Like here it's 100% and nothing fixed on mobile. Yeah, so let's just give this the same space for now as this has, so 24 pixel between these two elements and then also between these. Let's see, where did I do that? Margin left. Do we have this gap feature? CSS flags gap, I'm not sure. Let's quickly try out, it's easier. Gap 24 pixel. So this works, but is this also supported in the browsers? Can I use, so, and then gap, let's see. Gap property for Flexbox. Internet Explorer doesn't support this. So looks okay-ish. But at the same time, it's also like the global usage is just 87%. So let's not do that. We can just where's this info container? Let's just do it like this. And we can also, if we would say that the container has a fixed width, let's check that quickly. Maybe we should actually not use this. Yeah, let's remove the width property for now. And then it looks like this should be on the very right. So status this one. So this should expand the whole thing now. And justify content. Let's end. Okay. So this works now. And then the final thing is we have this thing here. This is the gray border. Check. This doesn't have a border yet. Here's the divider, okay. And the divider is 1 pixel, so we can probably just use the border at the bottom container, border top, and then this was color gray 200, I guess, and then 1 pixel solid. Let's see. That works. Looks good. Okay. And now the last thing is that we want to have this one on the right. So bottom container, and again display flex and justify content flex and let's see if that works. Okay. And then finally there's also the link. So it looks like links have this color by default, primary 700. And yeah, maybe I'm not sure if they have text decoration or not, but let's do this in the global styles for now. So A should be so we have the primary color, and this was 700, I guess. And then I'm not sure. I wouldn't. Yeah, let's also do text decoration here. I'm honestly not sure if I should do that here because it's unclear if like marketing pages also have the same thing, and it might be hard to fix later on. Yeah, actually, let's move this here. So I guess I don't have const and it's called issues anchor. Okay, this is a bit safer. Now this complains. That's href. Oh no, sorry. Okay. So this should be okay. Cool. This looks pretty much like the design, I guess. Just as the last thing, maybe let's take a quick screenshot of this. See, this is want to have this at 100%. Zoomed 100%. I'm taking a screenshot now because I'm not sure if the border or the shadow would be included otherwise. And let's remove these. So now let's check like how close we are design-wise. So we're kind of close, but also not really close. We obviously have some problems still. So this looks fine. Here is something with a spacing. Let me also export the design. I'm not sure here if this is actually the project item. Yes, if this is the correct size. This one here. So let's check. This seems a bit close, I guess, but okay, so mainly this is spaces. I guess this is the font size here. Then something is about the height here. So you can see the font is actually slimmer and not really bigger, but letter spacing is a bit higher. And this seems to be the case for all of those. Okay. Let's quickly check. This 24 pixel. Looks like this is a bit off, but I wouldn't mind actually. Let's has a height of 48 pixel. It's also 48. And this has 24 pixel, which is also fine. No. So this looks actually like the measures are quite similar, but somehow it's rendering a bit differently. But this is bothering me more, I guess, the fonts, because this looks a bit, and it doesn't look the same. So probably have to check again here. And then something about the view issues is also not correct. Let's check if the font size is correct here. Project card, and then here we didn't change it yet, and this is, let's see, this is a button actually. Okay. So this is text SM medium. So basically this one. Okay, and now we only have the I think there's something wrong with the padding. So we have 24 and 16. And I guess this is just like yeah, so it's actually just the other way around. So where's the bottom? This one here. So okay, this looks better. So yeah, now you can see minor issues here. The only thing that I really want to check is the fonts, because you can also see this React here, for example, it looks quite like thicker for me. Yeah. So, but I will stop here for now and leave it as it is, then continue later. So let's quickly check what we did here. We added this semi-bold. We defined the default color for links. Then we have here style. Let's move this around a bit. Just to have like, I like to have these in order. I guess there's also a lint plugin. Now you can see we have quite a lot of style components here, and then the actual component at the bottom. Some people prefer to do it like this, to have everything in one place. Others like to have them separate in separate files. I usually have them in separate files, like the styles here, the style components in one file, like projectcard.style.tsx or ts. Then the types maybe also in a separate file, and then this one in its own component. I like that usually a bit more, because then like the functional stuff is separated from the styles, but yeah, it depends on personal preference. So I might refactor this in the future. Maybe not, but yeah. So these also look pretty fine. Yeah. Let's commit this. Project card. Okay. Now let's push this. And open a PR. Okay, you can see this was quite a small pull request, so only 2 commits. Still kind of a lot of files that changed here. Yeah, but pretty small. And since like the setup is done, we were able to do this now in like 1 hour or so. And if you saw the last video, only this small batch component with different states, of course, like this has different states, so it's a bit more complicated, although it seems pretty easy. Yeah, this already took us like 1.5 hours or something to complete. Yeah, so I guess that's it for now. I hope I can continue tomorrow. Yeah, actually I forgot about the mobile version, but this seems pretty similar, so no changes actually in the component. And tomorrow, let's see what's on the board. So I can move this into preview, and tomorrow we can start with a project list component where we will actually use the API, this one here, to fetch data and yeah, then build the component. I hope that I can also update the backend to so it includes the other required parameters here. Well, yeah, okay. Thanks for watching.